Hi, I'm Chas, and you're watching Chas's Crazy Creations. Today we're going to talk about what to do with recycled water bottles.
So we're going to do a variety of projects with water bottles. Now, some of these you might want to remove the label from, and others you might not, it might not matter. So just simply take them off if you feel like it for each of these projects, or leave them as is. And then you might want to wash and clean them depending upon the project. So what I've done here is cut the bottle in half. Well, not quite half. And I just used a good kitchen scissors for it. So I just went and cut it through. Super easy. Now I'm going to be using the lid like this. But before I do, I need to take some good old apple cider vinegar and place it into the bottom of the container like this. Next, I'm going to place the upside down container on top, and we are going to be taping this closed. Okay, so I've got painter's tape here. I've gone ahead and pulled off some, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this on to just seal that. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a bug trap of sorts. So flies and bugs will go down in here to get to the apple cider vinegar, and then they get kind of trapped in there. They can't figure out their way out, so they pass away inside this, and then you can just open it up, dump it out, and repeat. Now, these work great inside your home, but they also work great outside on your porch or patio to kind of keep your bugs away from you as well. And it's more natural and organic, which I love.
I'm removing the tape now, and if you look in here closely, you can see there are a few flies. You can see there's a moth. There's even like a mosquito in there, and that's just over a little period of time.
This next water bottle was a small water bottle. I removed the label and I've now cut it in half, and we're going to move to the next step.
I'm going to be using the color gold and green of Rust-Oleum paint to paint the tops of those. Now I'm going to go ahead and let those dry completely.
So I've cut down and across the gold one now that it's dry. I'm just finishing this last little piece right there, like so. And now I have this little rectangle. So for this one, I'm cutting a series of little strips. So I'm not worried about how far apart they are or anything like that. I'm just going around and cutting the strips a little ways up so that I can utilize this for the next step. So I'll finish cutting these up, and then we'll move on to the next step. So I'm taking them and I'm bending them so they'll stick out a little bit, and I can go ahead and crease them, but I don't want them to stick out too much. I just need them to go up a little bit so that they fan out. So again, not looking to have anything perfect, but just kind of giving them this little palm tree-ish look is what I'm going to call it. So for this, I'm taking a battery-operated tea light, place it on the bottom. I'm placing the lid on top, and then I'm taking a faux succulent to place on top of that, on like so. So I'm gluing a little ladybug onto the lantern, and then I've added a little tiny flower down here. So let me show you that. Set my glue gun aside here. So I've got my little ladybug on here, and then I've added a little flower down here. So once I get done with that and those are cooled, I can again place the lid back on top and then place my succulent back inside like so. So you can easily pull this off to turn him on and off and place it back on. You could glue it into place if you want. This is a little heavy for it, but I think overall it's super cute on how it turned out. So what I had here was a whole water bottle, and I started by cutting the bottom half off. So what I've got left is, as you can see, is just this piece of water bottle that's left at the top here, but the rest is cut off. And we're going to focus on this little part here, and I'm going to cut a little hole out at the top here next. So once again, I've cut it off and I made a nice little hole right here on top, as you can see. So we're gonna be utilizing this hole next. Now you can decorate this however you want. You could spray paint it, which would be the easiest, or you could decorate it with some contact paper or wrapping paper or newspaper, whatever you want. So the first thing I've got is my charger and my cable. I'm just gonna go ahead and loop my cord around. And then on the other end for this one, I'm going to put my AirPods case or my headset case. From here, I'm gonna take that container and I'm gonna place this stuff in the container together. This keeps the cord together and the AirPod case. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna place the charger through. I'm gonna plug it into the wall, and then I'm gonna place that plastic onto the charger case. So this keeps everything together, and this is great for travel, but it keeps things off your counters and your desks and everything, and it keeps it all together. Now you can use bigger water bottles for your phones or different devices. You can use like soda bottles or the big pop liter bottles for bigger devices and that kind of thing, and cut it similar to this, and then it will hold your bigger devices as well. But then you can pack this up and take it with you in your car, stick it in your cup holder, go to your next place that you're staying, even on a vacation, and it keeps all of your stuff together. So I've got my water bottle here. I've protected my surface, and I'm going to use a punch, and I'm going to just start punching holes into the water bottle. And it's not going to matter that it's crinkly, that I'm doing it this way, because you can pop it back up, and for what we're doing with it, it won't matter. But if you do want it not to do that, just to give you a little more form, you can put water in it and freeze it first, and then poke the holes. The only thing you'll have to do is wait till, of course, the ice melts out of it before you can use it for our next step. So I'll finish poking the holes in it, and then I'll show you what we're going to use it for.
So this is my water bottle with the holes in it. I've used some gaff tape, but you can use masking tape. It won't stick as well. You can also use duct tape or electrical tape. I like gaff tape because it holds well and it's easy to take back off when I'm done. You can also buy attachments, especially if this is a 2-liter bottle pop of soda. You can definitely get those attachments at the hardware store that will screw onto both ends here and make it work by that, just using a screw instead of tape. So as you can see here, I've turned the water on and water is spraying out. We had a little area here that had some problems with holes, and we're trying to get the grass to come back now. So this is a great sprinkler. You can use it to do your grass. You can put it in a garden, all with a recycled water bottle. This is also great for kids, and they can jump through the water in the summertime when it's hot.
So I've got a regular water bottle here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pour some regular water into it, like so. So it's just good old tap water. I'm going to fill it up all the way, and then I'll talk about what we're going to use this for.
So that water bottle that I just filled with water, I placed here in the ground next to this plant, and now it's got a self-watering system. So I could do this in flower pots, indoors or outside. You can do it in your flower gardens, and then you don't have to worry about watering them every day. You just simply put this in the ground, and then you let it do the job. Now you can use the lid with the holes, or you can just take the lid off and stick it in the ground, and if the ground needs the water, it will pull it out of the bottle.
So for this next project, I just have another water bottle filled with water, and I'm going to be focusing on the lid for this next step. So this is just an old pot holder that I use for a variety of projects, and it's to protect my surface. Then I've got my lid. I'm going to put the open side down, and this is the lid, top. And then I've got a punch here, or you could use just any sharp object for this. But I'm just going to go ahead and start poking some random holes into the lid, and it doesn't matter how many, that's really up to you. But once I have all the holes poked into it, as you can see here, I'm going to remove this over here, and I'm going to take my lid or my water bottle back, and I'm going to put the lid on top. And now I'll show you what you can use this for. So what I have here is the bottom half, and it's just filled with dirt like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of dig a little hole with my finger, and I have bought some mint here, and I'm gonna place the mint into the dirt, and I'm gonna press down so that I can get it planted here. And then what I've got here is an herb garden. So I can easily put any type of herb in here, and then whether it's spring, summer, winter, fall, I can place these in my kitchen or on a windowsill, and they will last year round because they're indoors. Now earlier we talked about this one when we poked holes in the top. So what I've made here is a watering can. So you can see here that the water is coming out of the top, and I am just gonna go ahead and water my plants with it. So I can keep this handy, and this can go water plants inside or out, super easy, and again, with recycled water bottles.
I'm going to share a couple other tips with you, and one is the obvious. Make yourself a recyclable container in your home where you can throw those empty water bottles as you go. As you can see here, I just bought some dollar store stickers, and I made myself the symbol that resembles the recycle plan, and we make these, and so everybody knows exactly where to put their recyclables in our home. Okay, in addition to that, we freeze our old recyclable water bottles and different things, and here's an example of one. And we use these in our cooler. It makes it less sloppy, less messy, so we have a bunch of these that go in our cooler. We also use them to cool off, like when it's hot, we'll use them to cool ourselves off. Also makes a good ice pack. So we keep a bunch of these in the freezers for a variety of things as well.
So for this next one, I'm gonna need the bottom half, and so now I'll show you how I go ahead and cut these. So just with a little kitchen scissors, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it. Now you can make this any height you want. I like using the straight lines when I can to help guide me to have a straighter cut, but you could definitely make this shorter if you want. So now I've got the bottom half ready, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait till this dries out completely, and then we can move on to the next step. What I love about these is they can be reused again and again. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour some snacks into a cup like so. And now I've got an easy snack cup that can be used again and again. Wash it out, repeat. So these are great for outside gatherings, taking with you in the car on the go. It's good for homework times, and you can put anything in them. You can have a bunch of them lined up so people can just grab and go. Now I've got a basic water bottle, and I'm gonna go ahead and place a funnel. Now this can be a little tricky, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pour rice into the bottle like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing this, and it takes a little bit of time. But while we're waiting for this to fill up, you could do this concept for rice, quinoa, beans, just about anything you want. And then what we're doing is allowing ourselves vertical storage, which I absolutely love. So instead of a bag laying and trying to stack your bags or they're falling over, you can place things in these reusable water bottles, and then you can clearly see what's inside them, as well as they're vertical, so you can fit more in the space easily, which is huge for me. So what we do is you fill them up like so. So we'll just go ahead and stop about there. Move that aside. This is much cheaper than paying for those big extensive storage things, but basically here you go. I'm gonna add the lid to it. And now when I wanna use it, I just simply pour out the amount I want. Now the really cool thing that you can do with these in addition to this is, say you have younger children, you can put Cheerios or Rice Krispies or different snacks in here so that they can help make their own breakfast easier by pouring it out of these bottles, because sometimes the big boxes, if they get a hold of them, they spill everywhere. So little containers like this help kids be self-sufficient and create their own snacks or their own breakfast. So I love it for that purpose. And then as I showed you, this is rice. So the other thing you can do is turn it into a find it game. And you can see my tutorial for that on my website. But you basically stick other things in here like paper clips and little fuzz balls and pennies and erasers and different things. And then they spin it and try to find all of the items that are in there. So it becomes a great little toy. And these are wonderful on the go while you're trying to buy some time at the doctor office or maybe the restaurant. But super easy idea just off of one little recycled water bottle. And I hope this inspires you to try some water bottle hacks of your own. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog at chascrazycreations.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.